What you doing? I'm the AC and this is Otaku News Reviews. I will be talking about Fabricant 100 by Daisuke Enoshima, Chapter 19, The Ethics of Self-Sacrifice. This chapter came out on April 23rd, 2023 and is the typical 19 pages. Now before we actually talk about what happens in this chapter, we have to talk about the title page. We don't often get a title page that is just a random scene. Really, we don't get title pages every chapter anyways. They kind of just jump right into it. I like a nice clean title page, but this one's also just really random. It is 100 in a tub with wine, thinking off, looking out window. A very human-like kind of thing. And it is something to just really think about. And it's like, I guess this is like when 100 is waiting for Shibi during his training. I guess there's nothing else to do but take a bath. But I don't know, you never really see Fabricants so far doing humanist stuff like this. Also, 100 being in a tub, obviously naked, everyone's already infatuated with how 100 looks. It's just for the fan service. That's really what it is. It's been clear from the past two chapters that this manga has to go a lot more in the typical shonen, very fanny way. That I'm not a complete fan of myself, but whatever. It's more the intrigue of why 100's doing this is what I'm looking forward to. Everyone else probably just cares Shineki. So, talking about what is actually happening in this chapter, Ashibi passed Ayako's test, not minmin. The reasoning is Ashibi would have 100, so Ashibi acting more support is fine. minmin not so much. minmin won't always have someone to rely on to be a distraction for her. It's like, okay, I feel like they usually go in pairs anyways, but I don't know. We still don't know what minmin's spark is, unless I completely missed it. So I don't know what's going on with minmin. Maybe we'll see more later. Whatever. But what Ayako doesn't like is Ashibi's self-sacrificing attitude, and ask him something along the lines, is he really the only one that needs to endure the pain? And it's like, it's just thinking of, well, you don't know how others will feel, blah blah blah. It's like putting how others feel before how you feel. And it's like, oh, you're selfish because you're not thinking of other people. And it's like, okay, well, it's your body. Those other people are being selfish for not letting this person do. It's just, both people or whatever. I'm more along the camp of, this is a Shibi body, his resolve, let him do it. It doesn't really matter what other people think. Of course, other people will probably care you're hurting each other, but is it really that they care because they care about him, or just they care because, like, he compares it to 100 only cares about Ashibi's body staying in good condition and not so much that Ashibi's in pain. And it's like, does other people have some other reason besides just simply caring for him? And that's kind of what his whole thinking is. We don't know exactly why Ayako thinks that, but it's the whole idea of like, don't blah 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 because of other people. It's like, that's not selfish. They're the ones being selfish. This is their life, their body. Bodies. There's a bigger issue and topic similar that I have probably unpopular opinions on. So I'm not going to go into that because it's pretty much a taboo subject to talk about. But Ashibi, yeah, like, of course it's brutal. He's going to get hurt, but he's the one going for it. He's the one making the decisions. And then we get into almost a random flashback, but it makes sense of, it was pretty much his sister selfishly jumping into water to save kids when nobody else would, and Ashibi got mad at her for that. So Ashibi does know where Ayako would be coming from. He knew he got mad because his sister didn't think of anyone, not even herself, and just saving the kid. And she got mad at her for that. And it's like, she didn't care about him because she went and did that. And so he knows where he's coming from. However, he thinks since his family is gone, there's no one else that really cares about him. He doesn't have anyone else to go home to. There's no one that's going to come to him. He's forgetting all the other people around him. And yeah, they're just strangers to him right now. 100 only wants his body, not necessarily cares for him. And this whole chapter up until this point was like, oh, this is going to teach Ashibi a lesson, not to just throw himself at danger like he's been doing. No, if anything, it only increases resolve. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. Even with like emotions and stuff like that, mental mentality. He's all for it even more now. And then we see a sad him just laying alone on the bed. And like, yeah, okay, that's sad too. But Ayako saying that probably really did the opposite of what she meant. And then we end this chapter on a big, not really a turn of events or a twist, but we finally see number one and some other Fabricant. We can see this in whatever, so I assume it's another Fabricant. Face is dark. We can't see anything else about him, but we definitely see number one even has a tattoo. And it's going over some kind of weird theory about how can you be sure if you have a bunch of cans, if every single can has the exact same thing in it, even if they randomly test a bunch of different ones, there could be another can that they just happen to miss that is different. And it's like, okay, yeah, random, and it's pretty much just number one wanting to be 100% sure and see for itself, and that leads him to being excited because he wants to see the Yao family blood for himself and see if it's really all it's talked up to be. So, which is weird because he supposedly number one's been the one doing the surgery for all the other Fabricants. He's definitely seen the blood. I guess he just wants it straight from the source and nothing else will work. So the only source we know of that's left is a Shibi who is in this base. So is this going to lead to a assault that we all knew was going to eventually happen anyways? I don't know. I don't think it'll be this soon. I think it'll be more sneaky, or there'll be something. It won't be like, let's just go attack. And we don't know who this other Fabricant is with him. It could be number 2. It could be 98. It could be just some random one. It could be a 101. Number one may have figured out how to make a whole nother one. It could be a 0. There's so many things. It could just be a random. We don't know. But as also just for some reason, number one is nothing like what I imagined. Of course, it looks human because pretty much all of them do. I'm curious if like number one's been like getting any upgrades and enhanced abilities from other humans, because he's just scrawny, completely covered in bandages. Maybe that's from getting so many. I don't know, but he must not have the Yao blood in him if he like wants to see for himself, or maybe he does and he wants to see it from a Shibi first, or both. Do both. I don't know. He's all for like being 100% sure, getting every possibility and checking for sure. I don't know. There's could be a lot going on for it. And then real quick, talking about the title, The Ethics of Self-Sacrifice. It's pretty much just the view of a Shibi versus a Ayako and their self-sacrifice. I pretty much talked this whole video on it. Really, there wasn't anything too much besides just this. Like, what a Shibi thinks of self-sacrifice. That's it. There's not much else to it until the very end when we see number one. But let me know what you thought. Who you agree more with, Ayako or Shibi? I know Ayako didn't really go into detail about her idea of self-sacrifice. It was a lot of me just trying to interpret it. So maybe I did it wrong. But let me know what you thought. If what your views on it. I guess it could get really deep. I don't know exactly where others might go. But yeah, there's just a lot of talk of selfishness in it, so it could go either way. But yeah, if you want to talk about it, leave a comment, find me on social media, the AC Stories, email me at theacstories@gmail.com, join my Discord, links to all that stuff in the description. But hey, if you like what I have to say, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to keep up to date, go and subscribe. It'd be easier to do that. But Weekly Shonen Jump's going to be on break next week, so of course I'm not going to have a chapter, but you know, until the week after, I'm the AC. Thank you so much. Bye.